Alrighty, today I got my new Catsperch Pro chair right there. I did not get the pad that comes with it because I have the foam and the memory foam, so as you can see I'm beginning to make my own. Next to it is the chair that I made about 3 years ago. Basically very similar in design. A few things that we'll go through these. My chair is made out of the memory foam here with a piece of sleeping pad foam underneath and put onto a piece of plywood that goes across the two bottom pieces here, here, and here. And what I like about the Catsperch Pro better on the design is, of course, it has a front end that's screwed in here, but it has, mine has an open front down there. Catsperch doesn't. It also has the planks that I really like. Mine does not have that. And I think, though, as I cover up with this cushion, that cushion will be more comfortable than the cushion that I probably would have ordered with it. Again, like I said, that's how this one's made. And to be quite frank, I love the seat on my observing chair. My rear never gets tired on there. Definitely, I feel you do need a cushion on this. If I had to sit on the wood plates, they would make my rear sore a little bit, but my back is sore. It's been out lately. So anyway, a few other comparisons that I really like. You're going to see here that my footstep is a good 6 inches there. Their footstep on the Catsperch is really only about 2 inches. Really, if you're going to use it as a step up to as high as it is, you're probably going to have to go sideways. On my chair, I can actually put both feet up here and use that as a step. And I'm a pretty hefty guy. For most of the time I used my chair, I weighed in at about 345 pounds. I'm down to 260, basically. Well, 261. And so probably not a fair comparison. Both systems have a quick release. I just used these just little pins that pop out, and they use different type of pin right there. On the Catsperch, one thing I really do like, I do like the grip that they put on their footrests. My size, I'm not comfortable putting my weight on that to get all the way up top. But again, on mine, it's the same thing. I'm not comfortable putting all my weight on there either. So you can see that over the last 3 years, the chair's held up fine. It's held my weight. The one thing I did to my chair, and Nathan, where are you? Oh, he's gone. I was hoping my son was still here. Is if you look on the very bottom of my front footrest, come here. I need you to film this. I'm going to lift up my footrest just to show the black pads. Not those. The things on the bottom. Right here.
Nah.
So you can see I put those on so that the ground where I observe out at my dark sites doesn't chew up the board that much. And I actually have them on the footrest up front and also on the backrest back there. Catsperch doesn't come with anything like that, so I'll be adding that as my own modification to there. I would say one of the major differences, and I think my son would agree with me, that we have found between my chair and the Catsperch is this wonderful little handle here. I love having the handle for getting up, climbing up onto a high seat. It just provides some extra stability, especially if you're a big guy. Catsperch doesn't have a handle. This also makes it easier to kind of carry it to and from the car, the handle on mine. And again, Catsperch doesn't have it. You're going to see on the side, not a lot of room there on the side from here to here. I probably have more room on my side. So, additional features that I really like on the Catsperch, I love how they connect the chair up back here with their brace. Mine's just a real simple pattern. Kind of took it from the concept of a Denver chair there. Mine was based off what's called Sean's plans. So that's where that comes from. and the Catsperch. Overall, they're designed a little different here. Cross beam here, set with screws. Mine are set with screws, but I filled in, let's see if I can show you here. I filled in my holes. They've left their holes with their screws out. So a little bit of a difference there. Also, mine's vertical to their horizontal here. And you can see their screws here are in and showing. I actually think I like that better. I filled mine. You can see here I filled them, and I just didn't get the right kind of match for the red oak. So I think it would have been better just to leave them out like that. I think that's better. I have more screws in mine connecting my front base than this. So I think what I'm going to do now is just show you. This is my 17.5-inch daub that I actually have set up as I've been doing some things with it. So I have the chairs up right now to where, as I was approaching zenith, this is about where I'm looking at stuff. The scope would actually probably spend a good portion of its time. I have a little step ladder that I use for observing with it if I'm not sketching. That allows me to get in and out. Nathan? And I'm going to just show you how using the step ladder. You don't need a step ladder. I do think you need at least a step like that to help you get up when the chair's that high. But I'm going to use the step stool to help me get up on the Catsperch and then up on mine. And you can kind of judge for yourself which one you think is better. Nathan! So, I need you to film me getting up.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and get up on the Catsperch. I'm going to use this on the step stool. I wouldn't be using it if I was in the field. And then I just simply go up there, leave a foot there, come over on the step stool. And again, I like the wide step stool, which Catsperch had that. I can tell that foam, until I get it all situated, it's off a little bit. But you can see from the height of the telescope, I would actually be at this height, have a really good ability to go ahead and view using the chair if I actually had put it a little closer to the scope, but I didn't. But it's more than functional at this height. Step ladder off to the side won't really impact the use of the scope. Moving it in azimuth or in altitude. You know, if I go much higher, going to zenith, I'll just wait 30, 40 minutes, an hour, and observe it when it gets out of zenith, the object. So, for how I usually observe, and if I was sketching, if I was looking at the eyepiece, this chair will be very comfortable. This cushion's going to be extremely comfortable as I finish it. So that's going to be a good thing. Now I'm going to pop over to the other one. That's about how easy it is to come down if you use that step ladder. I think it's easier than using the footrest. Cool. Trick of mine, I guess. We'll see how this goes. So I just set this to the side. Now, you're going to watch. I really don't even need, because my footrest is so much bigger, I can just use it as a little ballerina thing. And I can get up here. Now, if I want just for stability, there we go. Again, I'm up as high as the eyepiece again, and ready to go. Stability-wise, they both are equally stable. You can make a chair off Sean's plans, and I think if he did it and made it right, it'd be just as highly effective as a Catsperch. But if you don't have the time or the wood making capability, not going to happen. I'll be honest, my chair wouldn't have happened without my friend Matt, who helped me a lot with it, and kind of guided me as I did my woodworking on what to do. So that was good. It was a good experience. Loved building the chair. Again, if I have to do it again, I got the Catsperch to follow it up, and both chairs are awesome. But probably the difference is I use the handle getting up here, even with the step stool. I love my big, thicker footrest better than the 4 or 5 inches there versus about 2 inches on theirs. So, overall, like I said, real stable, real good for sketching. Real good to have an evening of observing, so you're not always on a step ladder when you're observing and wearing your feet out and getting tired and not wanting to be up there. So my final verdict is there's just minor differences between the two. I like the handle. I like the bigger footrest on this. But the Catsperch Pro, I actually like some of the designs. I love the chair, the upper chair design, far superior than mine. Construction of the footrest, easy to come off. Mine's easy to come off. They have a nut with just a bolt in the back. Mine has a wing nut that you just undo and then the bolts come out. I can actually leave the bolts in mine. Mine are permanent. I just put the bolts back on. Leave the bolts in, of course, because they're in permanently, but put the thing that holds them down on, and it kind of protects the bolt from rubbing into anything. So the front footrest is fine. I don't feel a stability issue in the back. There's a little bit of a wobble on both chairs when I'm up high. Not enough to matter, and I'm a pretty big guy. Like I said, I went from 340, 345, now down to about I'm at 261. Goals get down to about 200, 205. But that will just make it even easier on the chairs. But the chairs have held up fine. So if you're a big guy, don't be afraid of it. A night sitting observing is better than a night standing even on a stepladder. So anyway, there's my review of them. I recommend them both. Thanks.